Welcome to your class of 2026 graduation.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
Enjoy the ceremony. Welcome to your class of 2026 graduation.
Thank you for spending your time.
To CU Boulder to major in mechanical engineering. Please welcome Mitchell to the stage, playing Married Life from the movie Up on the saxophone.
Hello, I'm Emmy Acosta, and I'm a student government class representative. Today, I would like to introduce you to two of our amazing student musicians. First, Elizabeth Valentine, class student body secretary, part of varsity tennis, flag football, and link crew. Lizzie will be attending to Brigham Young University to pursue nursing. And JJ Shake. He has been part of Amplitude Choir, cross country, and track. After following a church mission, JJ will be studying engineering at Brigham Young University. Lizzie and JJ will be performing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Thank you.
Good morning, families, graduates, and staff. My name is Parker Seaman, Senior Class Representative.
And my name is Archer Sanchez, Red Blue Crew Commissioner.
On behalf of Chaparral's graduating class of 2026, thank you for being here to share this once-in-a-lifetime moment with us. My fellow graduates are lined up and ready, but before we begin, we have a couple of reminders to help preserve the dignity of this special occasion. We kindly ask that you refrain from whistling, shouting, using air horns, or ringing cowbells, or any other loud noises so that each graduate can be heard and recognized.
To capture the importance of the ceremony, there will be photographers taking pictures of the event. There will also be a designated time to applaud for each graduate. Please stay in the stands and do not stand in the aisles and avoid coming towards the stage. Thank you.
My name is Gracie White, Senior Class Vice President. It's my distinct honor to introduce singer Malik Stewart. Malik was involved in theater and choir throughout high school and will be attending Arapahoe Community College in the fall with hopes to transfer to University of Colorado, Colorado Springs to study forensics. Everyone, please stand, and gentlemen, remove your caps as Malik Stewart sings our national anthem.
Where's the flag? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. My name is Lauren Wagner, co-student body president. I have the honor of introducing our next performer, Micah Carroll. Micah has played a crucial part in our performing arts program, playing the lead role in 3 musicals and was part of Amplitude Choir. After graduation, Micah plans on attending Arapahoe Community College, followed by Metro State University to study psychology. Please welcome Micah Carroll to the stage to sing My Way by Frank Sinatra.
I face the final curtain, my friend. I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I've planned each chartered course, each careful step along the byway, but more, much more than this,
I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. Yes, it was my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blow and did it my way. Yes, it was my
Hello, my name is Sophia O'Donnell, Student Body Social Relations Officer, and I'm excited to introduce our valedictorian, Sanvi Yadav. Whether she's guiding students as a writing tutor, building community through Link Crew, or leading organizations such as Spanish Honor Society and National Honor Society, Sanvi brings both heart and focus into everything she does. Her commitments across student government, Technology Student Association, speech and debate, and even tennis reflect not only her drive to excel, but her commitment to making the most out of every opportunity. In the fall, Sanvi will be attending the University of Texas at Dallas to major in applied mathematics on a pre-med track. Please join me in welcoming our 2026 valedictorian, Sanvi Yadav.
A few days ago, I was flipping through my diary from middle school, and I found an entry where I wrote that I was terrified high school wasn't going to be the same, that I wouldn't make friends, that I would spend the next 4 years feeling lost and alone. And I was sort of right. It wasn't the same, but not in the way I thought. My entire life, I've been on the move. When I was little, it was my parents relocating me to different countries, different states, different schools. Every time I had to pack my life and rebuild. I learned how to start over fast, figured out the new place, found my people, and pretended I wasn't nervous. So when I got to SHAP freshman year with my friends from middle school scattered to other schools, I remember thinking, okay, here we go again. After moving so much, I got used to always looking for the exits, watching the clock tick till I had to pack my bags and do it all again. I got really good at leaving. But something was different about this place. SHAP broke my GPS, and I stopped looking for the fastest way out. In fact, some of the best things that happened to me here were never on any map I would have drawn. I met people in the library whose names I can't remember learning, but now whenever we see each other, we lean into a hug. I joined clubs and became close with people I'd never shared a class with. I met a freshman through writing tutors last year, convinced her to join the tennis team, and now she's the first person I call whenever anything happens. None of that was on the route I had planned. I used to think closeness came from shared time, same classes, same clubs, or enough days sitting next to each other. But some of the people I love here came from the unexpected detours. Now, I should probably admit that I still don't have my driver's license. Embarrassing, I know. But this school has truly carried me. Rides home after school, to tennis matches, TSA competitions, anytime I mentioned I needed to get somewhere, someone would offer. They became the people who helped me navigate not just the roads, but also the chaos of high school. So thank you, genuinely, to everyone who has driven me somewhere in the last 4 years, because honestly, it's a painfully long list. And I think that's kind of what this place has been for me. Not just the rides, but the fact that there were always people showing up. Not only my peers, but also teachers. Mr. Carey drove 30 minutes to every speech and debate competition, even when I was the only participant. Mrs. Block sat with me in the math office every 7th period to help me, or just ask me how my day was going. They didn't have to do anything. They just did. My mom tells me on my first day of preschool, I cried on the way home because I didn't want to leave my new friends and teachers. I've always been someone who really holds on to people. And part of what this place gave me is that for the first time, I didn't have to let go. I got to stay long enough to finally feel settled. But not every road was smooth and simple. After getting a 50% on my physics final sophomore year, I was devastated. I wasn't used to struggling, but that class taught me something I needed to learn. Loving something and being naturally good at it aren't always the same thing. Sometimes the love comes from working on that simple harmonic motion problem for 40 minutes and still not getting the right answer. Simple, you say? But now, here we all are, about to do it all again, in new towns, new schools, new rooms, where we don't know anyone yet. But I don't think that leaning on others and learning to stand up on your own are disparate ideas. SHAP taught me that people who show up for you teach you how to show up for yourself first, and eventually for someone else. So, wherever you're headed, I hope you let people in. I hope you take the detour sometimes. I hope you let yourself get a little lost, because there's always someone to help you find your way. But I also hope that one day you're the one helping someone else navigate, because I think that's a sign you really grew up. And when I get my driver's license next month, fingers crossed, I will be retiring from the passenger seat. So if you ever need a ride, I'm your girl.
I'm Kinsley Iman, Senior Class Representative, and it is my honor to introduce Noah Medrano. Throughout his time at SHAP, Noah has left his mark in more ways than one, whether it's been on the baseball field, the National Honor Society, as Mr. SHAP, or bringing the energy and consistency to our daily announcements. Noah has been a positive impact on our SHAP community. In the fall, Noah will be attending the University of Wyoming to pursue a mechanical engineering degree. Please welcome Noah as he sings No Such Thing by John Mayer.
welcome to the real world, she said to me condescendingly. Take your seat, take your life, plot it out in black and white. Well, I never lived the dream of the prom kings and the drama queens. I like to think the best of me is still hiding up my sleeve. I'd love to tell you, stay inside the lines. Something's better on the other side. Well, I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. And I just found out there's no such thing as a real world. Just a lie you got to rise above. So the good boys and girls take the so-called right track. Faded white hats, grab the credits and maybe transfers. Read all the books, but they can't find the answers. And all of our parents, they're getting older. I wonder if they'd wish for anything better. While in their memories, tiny tragedies. They love to tell you, stay inside the lines. Something's better on the other side. I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. And I just found out there's no such thing as a real world. Just a lie you've got to rise above. I'm invincible. You're invincible. We are invincible as long as we're alive. I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. And I just found out there's no such thing as a real world. Just a lie you've got to rise above. I just can't wait for my 10-year reunion. I'm gonna bust down the double doors. And as I stand on this table before you, you will know what all this time was for. Thank you.
My name is Alani Berry, Senior Class President. Today I have the privilege of introducing our next speaker, Zachary Todd. In the past 4 years, he excelled academically while playing varsity golf, serving as captain his senior year. This fall, he plans on attending UCCS for PGA Golf Management. Please join me in welcoming Speaker Zachary Todd to the stage.
Wow, I can't believe it, standing up here in front of you all. I know for a fact freshman year me would have been shocked. Well, hopefully not about the graduating part though, but the speaking part. Because when I walked through those double wide doors on the first day of school and saw the Wolverine overlooking the Commons, I was absolutely terrified. Not because of my really bad middle part or absolutely atrocious style, but because I knew a grand total of 4 people. SHAP was all new to me, a completely different vibe, especially since I had transferred from another school district. But I did have one thing to look forward to though, and that was golf tryouts. I'd been practicing all summer and I really wanted to make varsity. I still remember standing on the first tee, my heart absolutely pounding out of my chest and sweating bullets. But then I remember coming up from the 18th green and turning my scorecard into Coach Riley, and what a relief that was. I didn't score in the triple digits, so that was a bonus. But while I waited for the teams to come out, I was once again terrified. But I ended up making varsity, which happened to be one of the best things to ever happen to me because it's where I met one of the most influential people in my life. My friend Preston, a senior who walked across this exact stage a year ago, he taught me it was okay just to be myself. We annoyed Fops and Coach Riley every single practice and just talked on the course for hours. Sorry. Talked on the course just for hours. He was really the first person at SHAP to befriend me. He took me under his wing, and I mean, who could go wrong with having a super cool upperclassman as your friend? I remember sitting in his car one night and asking him, man, how are you so sociable? And he looked at me and he said, it's honestly because I realize not everyone is nearly as judgmental as you think they are. And plus, if I did mess up, they'd probably forget 20 minutes from now anyways. Now, this bamboozled me, like you're telling me no one's gonna judge me for making a mistake? I didn't believe it, but I took it to heart. And over the next 3 years, I had my fair share of embarrassing moments, from absolutely bombing that one presentation to saying something really stupid to that girl that I thought was cute. But Preston's words stayed in the back of my mind. No one is as judgmental as you think they are. I found at SHAP, Preston was right. No one here will really judge you for making a mistake. Matter of fact, they'll probably laugh it off with you and forget about it anyways. This made SHAP feel more like a family to me and really helped me step out of my comfort zone. I talked to all kinds of new people, said hello to total strangers, and realized not every interaction would be perfect. And plus, if I did mess up, they'd probably forget about it anyways. So, as I conclude this speech, I know many of you may forget half of what I said, but if there's one thing I do want you to remember, it's don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid of those little errors or silly mistakes, because at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Life's too short for that. So after this graduation, I challenge every single one of you, no matter where you may be going, college, the trades, the military, or even taking the year off, don't be afraid of that discomfort or embarrassment, but rather embrace it. Because at the end of the day, the majority of the people you will meet in your life are not nearly as judgmental as you think they are. Thank you.
My name is Riley Westra, Student Body PR Commissioner.
And I'm Jenna Baller, Co-Student Body President.
It is my distinct honor to introduce the dignitaries of the Douglas County School District. Aaron Kane, Superintendent. Steve Coella, Chief of Staff. Mark Blair, Chief Technology Officer. Kristen Drury, Executive Director of Parker. Kelly Densler, Board Member and Director of District G. Thank you all for joining us here today.
Now for our feeder school principals. Graduates, please rise when you hear the name of the principal of the elementary or middle school that you attended. Kelly Kuntz, Pine Grove Elementary. Nick Holtfloor, Mammoth Heights Elementary. Josh Miller, Cherokee Trail Elementary. Carrie Rotherham, Prairie Crossing Elementary. Chris Stairs, Pine Lane Elementary. Liz Dugan, Challenge to Excellence. April Winder, American Academy. Sarah Curto, Sierra Middle School. Thank you. Hello, my name is Claire Stolten, Senior Class Representative. Today, I have the honor of introducing our incredible principal, the cornerstone of our school, and a man who has worked tirelessly to keep the culture of Chaparral High School alive and thriving. He is known for his wise words, and so, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Greg Gochi.
Thank you, Claire, for that very special introduction. Good morning. I know this is a time to celebrate, but if you would, I'd like to have a moment of silence to recall any of our family members who couldn't join us today in our celebrations. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be part of Chaparral and CHAP's graduation ceremony because it is focused on you, the graduates. It is about you and done by you. However, the logistics of getting you all together took some tremendous amount of work from some very dedicated people. I'd like to first thank and recognize our superintendent, Ms. Erin Kane, and the Board of Education and the members of the central office for all you do to make this possible. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Mr. Derek Cheney and Miss Allison Porter. We know this ceremony wouldn't be possible without you. I'd like to thank my colleagues who were just introduced and the best feeder in all the land, and the other high school principals out there for your countless meetings, advice, and counsel. I appreciate you. Thank you. And of course, there are some very special people at CHAP who worked very hard to facilitate your efforts. Miss Linda Cherry, Miss Trish Riddle, and Mr. Joe Kulata, and our performing arts team, Laura, Luke, Carrie, and Joey, thank you for all that you do. Thank you. Special shout out to all the people wearing our red gowns today, our junior escorts. We know you've worked harder than most. We really appreciate you. Thanks. Graduates, the journey you are completing was not a solitary one. There are a number of people I'd like you to thank and recognize who have helped you along your way. First, your family and friends. Thank them for all of their support. Come on, you all. Next, your teachers and staff members who are instrumental in your success. Let's recognize the staff members who will be retiring and graduating with you, the class of 2026. Staff members, if you would please stand and remain standing. Miss Kelly Elsner, Miss Linda Flansburg, Mr. Jeremy Cam, Mr. Jeff Ketron, Miss Lee McAvoy, Mr. Mike McEwen, Miss Laura Mose, Miss Lisa Nolte, and Miss Jenny Zweers. We will miss your presence, your leadership, and your friendship, and I know I speak for the entire staff when I say it's been an honor to work with you. Now with the entire staff, and if there are any educators in the audience, please join them in standing so the graduates can thank you for all that you do and have done. Okay, thank you. Graduates, this is a time when I reflect on your many accomplishments. You took over 1,000 AP exams, and by your junior year, 69 of you have received special recognition from College Board for your AP scores. 11 of you are National Merit Commended students, with an additional 3 of you are National Merit finalists. We have a Daniels Fund Scholar, an Air Force Academy appointment, and 9 of you are joining the military. You've completed nearly 15,000 hours of community service. In your 4 years, you've granted an unbelievable 65 wishes, and collectively you were offered over $12.5 million in scholarship money. Congratulations, you've really done a lot. You are the source of strength for each other and an entire school. You've led through Link, tutored in writing, counseled your peers, and expanded our Shap family. You've supported each other's performances in our theater and competitions at DECA, speech and debate, fields, on the courts, on the ice, in the pool, and in the classroom. Well done. I'd now like to take a moment to recognize the hardware that adorns many of our graduates. If you would please stand when I recognize your accomplishments and remain standing until the end. First, Sanvi Yadev is wearing the valedictorian medallion. I'd also like to recognize our Gold C Award recipient, Lauren Wagner. Congrats, Lauren. Many of you are wearing a gold honor stole indicating summa cum laude graduates with a GPA of 4.0 and higher. You have a red and white honor cord indicating magna cum laude with a cumulative GPA of 3.75 to 3.99. Please stand. A red honor cord indicating cum laude for a cumulative GPA of 3.5 to 3.74. Thank you for your hard work and congratulations. If you have a white stole indicating membership of the National Honor Society, please join them in standing. A gold honor cord indicating Honor Society membership. A royal blue cord for STEM, and a royal blue with gold cord for STEM with honors. A white cord for humanities and a white cord with gold for humanities with honors. 148 of you earned a pin for a seal of biliteracy. Nine of you are wearing a red, white, and blue cord indicating enlistment in the military. If there are any audience members who have served or are currently serving, if you would please stand and join them so that we could thank you for your commitment to service as well. Congratulations and thank you all. You may be seated. This is the part of the commencement speech that is always difficult to write. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you have too much to say and you realize that most people won't remember much of it anyway. So I'll try to keep this brief in hopes that you will remember at least some parts of it. You see, I was recently at a commencement ceremony at Colorado Mesa University, and the speaker said something that stuck with me. He said that an older person might stand before you, just like me, and imply that you could and that you could change the world, and imply that you should. This is probably because our generation failed to do enough. And that hit me harder than I expected. But one thing failure has taught me is this: most learning happens there. And one of the lessons I've learned is that changing the world usually starts much smaller than you imagine. There's an old saying, think globally, act locally. Take care of your faith and yourself. Take care of your family and your friends. Take care of your neighbors and your community. And when enough people do that well, the world changes. The other thing that I hope you would remember is this: shortcuts often leave us feeling hollow, especially when it comes to the things that matter the most. relationships, character, and education. We live in a time when AI and technology can be incredible tools for efficiency, and they probably have their value. But efficiency and shortcuts are not the same thing. Be careful not to trade growth, effort, and authenticity for convenience. And finally, remember this: your Shap family loves you. Take care of one another and stay connected, and don't always take the shortcuts. Thank you. Now, if our superintendent, Ms. Erin Kane, would join me on stage to receive the class of 2026. Ms. Kane, the 26th graduating class of Chaparral High School has exceeded our expectations and has successfully completed the graduation requirements set forth by the state of Colorado, the Douglas County Board of Education, and Chaparral High School. They are now ready to receive their diplomas. Graduates, would you please rise? Ms. Kane and the Board of Education, it is my honor and privilege to present to you the graduating class of 2026.
Principal Gochi, it is my great honor to accept the graduating class of 2026 of Chaparral High School on behalf of the Douglas County Board of Education and the Douglas County School District. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much. Graduates, you may be seated.
I'm Preston Spear.
And I'm Finn Johnson, Red Blue Crew Commissioners.
We're pleased to introduce our faculty heralds voted on by the senior class.
Today, we honor the people who taught us everything we know,
and a few things we've already forgotten because they weren't on the final. First up is my friend and mentor, Mr. Fatma. He is easily bribed by Mountain Dew or a putting competition. His innovative spirit led to the legendary sports history class, a class currently being expanded to the rest of the district. Let's get some golf claps for our school's biggest golf fan, Mr. Kevin Fatma.
Many of you know this already, but Mr. McEwen is graduating right alongside us this year. Through AP Lang and English 2, he's built a classroom rooted in curiosity, connection, and just the right amount of organized chaos. He didn't just teach us how to write, he taught us how to think. There's a 100% chance he's wearing plaid underneath those robes. Please welcome Mr. Mike McEwen.
Least but not last, we've got Mr. Collada. He revised our speeches for clarity, but somehow the only parts that changed were our critiques of him. In reality, Mr. Collada strives to encourage his students to think deeper about what they are reading and ask why something is, rather than simply accepting it. Get on up here, Mr. Joe Collada.
It's no wonder we chose Mr. Larson as one of our faculty heralds. The self-proclaimed old man in the library is one of the most genuine, caring people in the building. If you've ever spent an off period in the library, you already know his music taste is elite and his hallway high fives are on point. Doggone it, please welcome everyone's favorite research coach and librarian, Mr. Damon Larson.
Lucy Sebastian Abason.
Fariz Abubakar.
Luis Adrian Acosta.
Carter Lem Adams.
Lily Ray Adkins.
Madison Jade Amowitz.
Benjamin Daniel Anderson.
Jacob Roy Anderson.
Owen Carter Anderson.
Riley Lynn Anderson.
Gianna Patrice Arcees.
Jeffrey Brandon Armstrong II.
Brooklyn Grace Arnold.
Garrick LaRon Ashford Jr.
Andrew Allen Atencio.
Devin Justin Avalos.
Beckett William Bacon.
Brady James Baker.
Talon Grace Balderston Whitaker.
Lily Elizabeth Baltazar.
Brianna Ray Baltzer.
Julian Trenton Barrera.
Sebastian Antonio Barrera.
Zoe Soleil Barthel.
Brogan Riley Bartholomew.
Cole Cutler Bauman.
Shara Eden Bennett.
Shribe Bentria.
Jackson Wayne Berg.
Brianna Jean Bergen.
Noah Allen Berry.
Reagan Ryan Grace Berry.
Ishana Bomick.
Reginald Caden Black.
Max Grady Blessis.
Brendan David Emil Bokros.
Carson Riley Bontempo.
David Boone.
Jesse K. Boone.
Dylan Andrew Bontempo.
Charles Wesley Booth.
Natalia Marie Bolby.
Reese Anthony Bowman.
Hannah Grace Boyd.
Zachary James Boyd.
L. Madison Bradley.
Luke Garrig Branson.
Addison Lynn Brantley.
Addison Grace Brown.
Sydney Jocelyn Brown.
Luca Elliott Bruce.
Kira Nicole Brundage.
Logan Alexander Brusco.
Shrieker Rao Bunini.
Dariana Naomi Calix Villegas.
Lucia Sophia Calvanese.
Grayson Wade Campbell.
Xingshang Zhao.
Luke Christopher Carey.
Delilah Marie Carpenter. Jaslyn Marie Chacon.
Simon Kamboon Chantavong.
Luke Matthew Chapin. Luke Matthew Chapin.
Blake Joseph Charbonneau.
Macy Alexis Cho.
Sophia Lane Clough.
Nevaeh Elizabeth Chewy.
Tristan Gerald Clemon.
Cameron Ray Cliff.
Ashlyn Elizabeth Cook.
Zachary Daniel Clough.
Jaden Daniela Cochran Bryant.
Jacob Stephen Contier.
Camden Hughes Cunningham.
Cameron Tyler Cook.
Catherine Dana Cook.
Karina Jacqueline Coyle.
Kyla Elizabeth Dean.
Carly Ryan Cunningham.
Tatiana Lee Daniels.
Miley Layton Davis.
Mackenzie Elaine Detlefson.
Keenan Ray DeFries.
Curtis Aiden Sebastian Delgado.
Tanner Jacob DeMotts.
Caleb Michael Douglas.
Joseph Robert Detman.
Tripti Dubé.
Rylan James Domenico.
Hunter Michael Duncan.
Reed Blaine Draper.
Jonathan David Duncan.
Claire Lisette Dolgarian.
Devin James Dupree.
Jackson Carter Duncan.
Peyton Leanne Dusper.
Chastity Marie Donovan.
Ashlyn Landry Eckert.
Jude Henry Dupay.
Bronson William Ency.
Cyrus Benjamin Eaton.
Madison Claire Evans.
Lily Jane Ekdahl.
Alexandra Lauren Favreau.
Raina Ann Eshelman.
Lauren Patricia Ferguson.
Renzo Maximo Falero.
Sophia Bell Fisher.
Micaela Christina Feller Mendoza.
Haley Jade Fonseca.
James Anthony Finical Salea.
Cameron Nicole Folk.
Brett Copeland Flores.
Taylor Renee Franciscus.
Jaden Kai Forboard.
Carson Christopher Frattinger.
Dayton James Fowler.
Jackson Colby Gage.
Max Thomas Frazier.
Ella Ann Gallup.
Keegan Joy Freitas.
Anna Galber.
Jack Isaac Gamble.
Kaylee Alexis Gamel.
Ambar Adriana Garcia Fonseca.
Heidi Giselle Garcia Rojas Chavez.
Luis Vincent Garifano.
Gia Lynn Gaskill.
Andrew Christopher Gates.
Anna Soren Gates.
Kritika Gautam.
Jeremiah Timothy Yentz.
Sarah Elizabeth George.
Desiree Marie Georgie.
Ledette Gatacho.
Nicholas Cooper Gonyu.
Joseph Jordan Graber.
Gabriela Virginia Gonzalez Lara.
Oscar Rodrigo Gonzalez Lara.
Sarah Isabel Graves.
Madison Grace Gunther.
Alizea Mariana Grivas.
Sienna Yaprak Grice.
Alicia Rose Grillo.
Jaden Stabler Haley.
Arcadia Michelle Haddix.
Grant Thomas Hafner.
Kara Michelle Haffey.
Hunter Ryan Hartman.
Nathaniel Edward Hall.
Dylan Parker Hamilton.
Kaylin Diane Hansen.
Josephina Josie Marina Hayes.
Lauren Natalie Hartman.
Matthew David Haugen.
Corinne Elizabeth Hayes.
Melissa Hellstrom.
Tyson James Hayes.
Cade Matthew Hayes.
Sally Melissa Helgoth.
Samuel Stephen Formsma Hemke.
Lily Kate Henry.
Bianca Maria DeHope.
Alexander Hodzelik.
Julia Lorraine Hauser.
Emily Sophia Hurd.
Amira Hania Hogue.
Kayla Ann Hop.
Jason Lawrence Hume.
Aislinn Ty Howell.
Cade Napier Risso.
Scarlett Elizabeth Hum.
Nolan Bradley Jansen.
Thomas Paul Humphrey.
Riley Elizabeth Hunter.
Colton Richard Keith Ingmanson.
Owen Scott Jenkins.
Lacey Michelle Jablonski.
Lauren Grace Jablonski.
Madeline Joe Ray Jenkins.
Maya Elizabeth Johnson.
Leah Mae Jensen.
Thaddeus Gray Jeter.
Ava Catherine Johnson.
Trenton Brian Jones.
Addison Kathleen Joyce.
Brody Edward Kelly.
Shane William Kennedy.
Avery June Kent.
Moksha Kadka.
Hazem Krasat.
Isabella Marie Kilborn.
Chase Dylan King.
Gwyneth Rose Dias Kingston.
Jaden Elaine Kin.
Sophia Rose Knapp.
Kaylee Isabel Knight.
Ryan Samuel Koshius.
Madden Meyer Kretzer.
Hannah Grace Cryer.
James Van Kirkendall.
Hudson Matthew Lammers.
Miles Craig Langheinrich.
Blake Drennan LaRue.
Zane Michael Larson.
Luke Johannes Lauer.
McKenna Claire Lauritsen.
Olivia Arden Lauritsen.
Kate Sierra Lawson.
Haley Marie Leverton.
Alexander Eli Lewis.
Rose Killian Lindley.
Grace Yamoses.
Colton Michael Lombardi.
Jake Jonathan Baltazar Loomer.
Malachi Orion Love.
Sophie Grace Lovitro.
Michaela Maybe.
McKinley Grace McCauley.
Jocelyn Aphrodite McCormick.
MD Samin Yasir Mahadi.
Addison June Mayer.
Aiden Joshua Maloof.
Shrika D. Mani.
Dean Hendrik Marsilia.
Ethan James Marin Johnson.
Haley Nicole Martin.
Max Jacob Martin.
Victoria Elizabeth Martinez Sierra.
Hadassah Abigail Matias Enamorado.
Riddhi Amol Mayakar.
Isabella Marie Mayers.
Isabella Rose McCollum.
Michael David McHenry.
James Andrew McMinn III.
Tara Elizabeth McNamee.
Susanna Isabel McNish.
Cambry Anton Jewel Meyer.
Henry Charles Milestrip.
Zachary Nathan Jensen.
Nicole Mendez.
Katerina Dawn Michael.
Logan Storm Miracle.
Alejandro David Miron.
Kaylee Michelle Mitchell.
Benjamin Michael Mock.
Edie Claire Mokus.
Vanessa Ann Monaco.
Jade Nevea Monroe.
Ashley Grace Moore.
Jackson Oaks Moran.
Kaylee Jessica Mortensen.
Ashley Marie Mossman.
Calvin Mutcherson Jr.
Melani Faith Mumu.
Estras Francisco Munoz Salinas.
Carson Jeffrey Monroe.
De'Aaron Musandu.
Lucas James Narber.
Lincoln Parley Nelson.
Caleb Icon Wynn.
Audrey Lane Nilsson.
Caitlin Ann Nudd.
Ajay Rabinder Ode.
Isabel Marie Olson.
Macy Catherine Olson.
Max Orashish.
Alana Isabella Pacheco.
Leanne Serenity Pacheco.
Maxwell Michael Palladino.
Danica Tay Palmer.
Colton Christopher Pamenter.
Sadie Catherine Parker.
Quinn Richmond Patterson.
Hayden Sherilyn Perry.
Rodrigo Adolfo Pena Gamboa III.
Kaylee Lotus Perrin.
Liam Grady Perrott.
Aaliyah Moen Perways.
Reed Thor Peterson.
Lillian Margaret Hope Pettit.
Mason Christopher Plost.
Catherine Pullman.
Michael William Pascachil.
Jacob Reed Power.
Anthony Gabriel Pucciarelli.
Ayush Purohit.
Ethan William Quintana.
Daniela Abigail Ramirez Hercules.
Samantha May Rasmussen Diaz. Andrew Kyle Ratner.
Mukta Reddy.
Ivy Marie Rafault.
Taylor Carrick Rice. Mateus Nelson Rieger.
Touch and goes.
Kevin Connor Riley.
Chester Rivas Alamillo Jr.
Noah Christopher Rogers. Logan James Roggeman.
Emily Joanne Rojas.
Gavin Lance Xavier Roque.
Savannah K. Josephine Sandhoff. All right, good. Ava Rebecca Rosevet.
Isabel Samantha Rouse Aldusin.
Abigail Elizabeth Rusenberger.
Mason Allen Scarlett. Jack Allen Ryan.
Swede Louise Saby.
Michelle Grace Nietzsche Samaru.
Michael Alexander Sandoval.
Jivitesh Sasakumar.
Cameron Michael Scalia.
Jenna May Schieferek.
Isabel Caitlin Schroeder.
Maxwell Dean Schwartz.
Agatha Marie Seibold. Asen Keith Selby.
Abdul Tawheed Sheikh.
Sharia Sharma.
Keely Paige Sharon. Tanish Shakar.
Savannah Ray Short.
Sienna Ashby Sickler.
Nicole Kristen Sievers.
Hannah Ann Simons.
Isabel Faith Simpson.
Tyler Colton Sinclair.
Krish Singh.
Gabriel Alexander Sitko.
Talia Nicole Scuffle.
Cade Thomas Smith.
Ren True Smith Trujillo.
Taylor Ann Snyder.
Isaiah Alejandro Solis.
Ethan Mark Sorensen.
Ethan Joseph Southwell.
Kaylin Elizabeth Stalter.
Alan Donovan Spurgeon.
Emerson Rose Sprinkle.
Haley Elizabeth Stanislawski.
Alicia Esco Stetnish.
Jeremy Brett Stedman.
Lorelei Steele.
Cambria Lynn Steiner.
Saraya K. Lynn Stryker.
Samantha Joellen Stevens.
Tevin Avery Drew Stokes.
Lillian Rose Strain.
Shaylin Maya Terrio.
Kaylee Erica Switzer.
Kayleanne Nevea Tate.
Jake Dylan Terrell.
Logan Michael Thompson.
Tatum Sarah Theobald.
Lillian Hazel Thomas.
Lauren Elise Thompson.
Samuel Stephen Daniel Utesh.
Ryder Wilson Toland.
Victor Torres Jr.
Caitlin Alexandra Trissel.
Micah Lee James Velasquez.
Raymond Archer Van de Bogard.
Julio Cesar Vargas.
Abigail Enriquez.
Alexander Bruce Rionides.
Luke William Vigil.
Marifer Villalobos Soto.
Sydney Elizabeth Vogel.
Tate Michael Westra.
Chloe Wong.
Andrew Rex Webster.
Mason Cooper Weinbach.
Luke Jeffrey Williams.
Mason Michael Welch.
Logan Joseph Whittingham.
Drake Stephen Wilderman.
Julian J. Weissman.
Eric Colton Wilstatter.
Capri Amy Perry.
Mitchell James Moore.
Kason Ray Wilson.
Colin Joshua Wise.
Parker Cade Seaman.
James Dustin Schick.
Hunter James Wolf.
Cordelia Wayleen Woldite.
Gracie Eleanor White.
Elizabeth Eva Valentine.
Melody Joy Woolnow.
Melody Kate Wolitsky.
Sophia Lynn O'Donnell.
Malik Tyrell Stewart.
Thomas Zhuang Wyman.
Cortland Aubriana Wright.
Archer John Sanchez.
Micah Josiah Carroll.
Zia Shah Yusufi.
Tyler Charles Young.
Kinsley Ann Iman.
Noah Jacob Madrano.
Kale Ryan Zekas.
Emmy Zihi.
Alani Kaya Berry.
Zachary Ryan Todd.
Molly Reagan McCarthy.
Emiliana Alexandra Acosta Calles.
Riley Grace Westra.
Cassidy Elizabeth Gilmore.
Preston Daniel Spear.
Jenna Faith Baller.
Claire Bailey Stolton.
Hannah Elizabeth Rogers.
Finley Jack Johnson.
Lauren Alexis Wagner.
And the valedictorian for the Chaparral High School class of 2026, Sanvi Yadav.
Hi, my name is Molly McCarthy, Student Government Class Representative, and I am excited to introduce Hannah Rogers and Cassidy Gilmore. Hannah has been a part of the Chaparral Theater Department for the past 4 years, directing performances, participating in every musical, and as a member of Chap Encore Players. Hannah will be taking a gap year to focus on her music and community performance. Cassidy is also deeply involved in the Chaparral Theater program, serving in leadership positions, participating in Encore, and even writing her own one-act play. Cassidy will be attending the Manhattan School of Music this fall to pursue a bachelor's of music. Please join me in welcoming Cassidy and Hannah as they sing our class song, Good Riddance by Green Day, blended with Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road.
Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go.
So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang them on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love?
Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? It's something unpredictable, changing, it's right, 'cause I hope you had the time of your life.
But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Oh, I'm getting older too. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Thank you.
Graduates, please rise.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Please join us in turning our tassels from right to left. Congratulations!